Hi, welcome to the next instalment in my photographing Kentish villages. Today we're in Wickhambreaux, pronounced Wickhambreaux, not Bro or Brox, Wickhambreaux. Busy thoroughfare. To give the village some justice, I'm not going to try and read something off the top of the head, but I've got this. Wickhambreaux has a recorded history dating back to at least 948 AD. When King Eder granted land to a religious woman, the village's name derived from witch, W-I-C-H, a coastal trading settlement, and ham, reflecting its early significance. There are royal connections as well. The village was once owned by Joan of Kent, the mother of King Richard II. William, Henry, Stephen, Henry, Richard, John. Oi! I love my grandchildren for that. She was known as the Fair Maid of Kent. Joan was a significant figure in the 14th century and was regarded for her influence over the young king. So we've got the Little Stour running through. We've got a mill, Norman church, there's a pillbox, and just some really, really quaint buildings. Spring is full on. It's nearly summer. Flowers will be around. I don't know what I'm going to capture photographically, but I think that's part of the journey, isn't it? Just getting through the village and seeing if I can get anything of interest. But what I will do is I will focus on capturing something properly, if that makes sense, not just pointing the camera and clicking, because look at that river, looks great. And the mill here with the church. I think this could be my first shot then. Capture something while I'm here. I want to get to the other side of that river. And to do that, I've got to go through the church and then come through, I think it's called Holy Lane or Holly Lane, something like that, just to get to the pillbox, because significantly today is the 8th of May, 2025, when I'm filming this. And of course, it's VE Day, 80 years since the end of the war in Europe. And of course, the war continued to rage in the Far East and in Asia until August of that year. But yeah, so there's actually the grave of one of the squadron leaders from the Dambusters 617 squadron. So we'll look at that and I'll take a photograph, probably give you some info when I'm there. I want to see the pillbox as well. But I think I'm going to go in aperture priority. I'm going to set the exposure compensation to 0 because it was already at -3 or +3. Auto ISO at 100, but you know what? It's bright enough that it won't change. I'm just putting the white balance on auto. If I want to enhance the sky and the colours, you can see how lovely and blue it is. I'll do that in post-processing. So I've got the old mill. There's nothing actually to take photograph of when we get there, but I'll show you why. A bit of the river. I don't know how far I can get down here without actually taking a tumble. But I'll get down and use some of the weed as foreground. Oh, very nice, picturesque. I want to show you the mill. Looks lovely, doesn't it? But actually you can see that the wheel doesn't turn any longer. And they're all blocks of flats. But look at that house there. There was a name on it somewhere. Oh, the old stone house. And of course it's working out how to capture it best. Do I just, take it full on, or do I crop in? Do I zoom in on some stuff? But I think I can just take it. I need to stand here. Let me put you there so that you're not in my way. 18 mil, zoom in back. Lovely. Look at that one there with the bridge and the Little Stour car coming. It's a busy old town, isn't it? Talk about chocolate box images with the Little Stour River. There's a bridge just at the far end there. crossing over into, well, nothing, because there's a fence. I'm going to try and capture something here. River, house, got some cars in it, but what are you going to do? So you've got the, is it the Rose or the Royal Oak? I'll find out in a minute when I can see the sign. But we're talking 17th century, 1600s, still a central point for the village. Look at these houses, aren't they gorgeous? And then you've got this absolutely amazing, I did read online that it was used in something called the Canterbury Tales. Now, I don't know, was that a production or something? It's just lovely on the green. I think I'm going to take a photograph straight on. I love that I was here this morning, actually, cloudy as anything. It's called the Rose Inn, and it's circa 1300. So it's had some renovations. And then that house there, look at that, with all the wisteria and the flowers. Shame about the cars. And then you've got the church. So, yeah, I've got a few photo opportunities here. The village, the old Tudor. We're going to walk down there in a short while. Rose Inn. So I'll just take a couple of shots while I'm here. Straight on at the Georgian house with the trees. Anyway, what was I after here? Try and capture the Rose Inn as a scenic. I'm just looking at this bench with the tree and the light, because it's all about light photography, isn't it? And look at the wonderful red in the leaves there. I don't know, there's nothing specific here in terms of subject. It's just the whole ambience of everything I'm seeing. What I might do is just capture the edge of the church without this tree and just capture all the leaves. Yeah, I like that. And then coming out at 18. Right. Again, going back to the fact that it's VE Day, there's something very poignant about one of the graves here. So I'm going to show you the grave. I'll put some overlaid images, but I'll just talk through why this is so poignant. So this is the grave of Squadron Leader David Maltby of the RAF VR Bomber Command. He died aged 23, and of his crew, 15th September 1943. What's significant is this. Now, David Maltby piloted Lancaster ED906 with the call sign AJJ, also known as Johnny. And they were part of the Dambusters Raid, which was Operation Chastise, which took place on the 16th and the 17th of May 1943. Now, Maltby's aircraft was the fifth in the formation, and he was specifically tasked with attacking the Eder Dam, although it's worth clarifying the exact sequence. The Mona Dam was the first to be attacked and successfully breached, and David Maltby's aircraft actually dropped the bomb that breached the Mona Dam. I think I'm saying it right. He released his upkeep bouncing bomb at 0049 hours, so it wasn't quite 1 in the morning, on the 17th of May, which caused the dam to collapse. He lost his life coming back from another operation. Well, I believe it was called Operation Garlic, and they were tasked with bombing a canal, and it was all foggy, and they couldn't actually bomb the canal. It was subsequently bombed a year later and was out of service for the rest of the war. But his mission to actually bomb the canal in 1943, they were flying back, and I've read, so, you'll confirm it if you want to, that he had a collision with a mosquito that was coming from one of its own operations, and the mosquito plane collided with the Lancaster, brought it all down. One of the other Lancasters in the squadron circled for 2 hours looking for survivors until rescue could come, and only David Maltby's body was recovered. I'm trying to angle that here. So, rest in peace and thank you for your service, especially on today, the 80th commemorative day of VE Day in Europe, victory in Europe. I'm not sure about capturing anything in the church, but you can kind of see the stained glass window. It'd be nice if it was dark and the light was in. I'm just going to walk along here and have a look at the pillbox. So we've just come out of the church, we've walked down this little lane to the pillbox there. Built in 1940 to 41, there were 8 pillboxes that were constructed. The first one at the top near Snodland, and this was number 2. And then you go into the village of Wickham on the other side, 3, 4, 5 subsequently, all the way to Barming. And they were all in a row, and I think there's a plaque, which I'll show you, where they were all constructed. I was here with my friends the other day, doing a scouting session, and I said to my friend, what was the significance of the pillbox? Because if you've got an invasion, bearing in mind that they were built to stop, or at least delay, any landing, you know, any Operation Sea Lion coming in. Had we not won the Battle of Britain, then the Nazis would have come across the channel, landed on our coast, and then moved inwards. And so these pillboxes, you know, if an array of Panzer tanks or Tiger tanks are coming up the road, you've got 7 squaddies in here with their rifles, not really going to do a lot of damage, are they? However, they were built as a deterrent in as much as they would be holding back the enemy until reinforcements could come. This is World War II pillbox, constructed by civilian contractors in early 1940 as part of a plan to form stop lines to delay Nazi invasion, Operation Sea Lion, which was expected to come from the direction of Dover. Until 1941, it was staffed by 7 soldiers, Fusiliers of the 9th Battalion. It is number 2 in a line of 8. I will hold that there if you want to read. Just pause to read. Look, Michael Morpurgo, The Castle in the Field. In more recent times in Wickhambreaux, pillbox was featured in the children's book The Castle in the Field, who also wrote Warhorse. So I don't know, I get a picture. I mean, you're on a history lesson here rather than a photography journey. But I'm going to capture a picture of it because of its significance. Yeah, let me do that. Let me just take you inside before we do that, just so that you can have the... I should have done this on my Tudor Travels channel. However, we are exploring Kentish villages, aren't we? Oh, I've got an echo in here. So there you go. They've got these structures in the middle so that if the enemy are firing and the gunshot comes through the window here, at least if it affects or kills the soldier on this side, the stray bullet hits this, doesn't get the guys behind. Seven soldiers manning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Coming over all emotional. What these guys did. It's shocking. It's peaceful and quiet now. Just capture a shot that depicts the view outside. See if I can get a shot outside as well. And then we will take a walk around the village without a history lesson. Because actually, I want to take a picture as well of the River Stour. I don't want to go too close to the edge here, but look at the way the water is running past those trees. Depending on my focal length, might be able to capture a shot there. It's a lovely view, and I'm not showing it to you but I can put live view on quickly. That's what I'm looking at. I think it looks quite splendorous. And I don't know if I come in and I crop right into that scene there. Doing some landscape photography. Shocking. Right, let me get a shot or two here. Pull right back. We've got f13 80th of a second. And it worked in one hit. I'm going to go crop right in there. Just get the meandering river and the tree trunks. f13 60th of a second. Oh, that's nice. Right, so where's the best shot for this pillbox? Because I've got the light, I've got the mill in the background, I've got the church. Do I capture all three of those elements? Come down a tad, I think that'll work, won't it? I want to. It's historical. So I've got to come back a bit. Oh yeah, that's nice. I sound like an artist, don't I? I was just walking back, I'm not quite at the green yet, but I spied this. This is just the brick wall that surrounds the church. But there's something really pleasing to me of, you know, the lone yellow rapeseed plant there, the crop, the brick wall, and the tree looks so majestic. And so I'm going to capture something, because you have to, right? It's nice. I want the tree, I like the bushes, I like the brick wall. I'm not really fussed about the foreground element, it kind of doesn't do it, but the leading line of the edge of the crop is rather nice. Can I come in here and capture that leading line? Oh, that's lovely. That's a single shot, but I think what I'll do is a pano here and capture all of it, including this tree on that side. That gives me more to work with. Change of plan. I'm not actually going to start on the village green, but we will walk down to it, because to get to the street, I want to angle past the Rose Inn and come around. So I thought I would just walk you down this main road. We'll take a look at a few things. Look at that Oast house in there. It's beautiful. Wickham Court Oast. That could be a nice picture in itself. Let me just prop the DJI there while I take a shot. Might have to... Oh no, it came out. I was quite surprised. I thought I might need to use the flash. Watch the cars. It's very busy. I'm wondering if people use this as a cut through, maybe from where I live, Folkestone, coming up towards Thanet, and they come through all here. Wickham Lodge, stable view. Look at this though, isn't that stunning? It's hidden by the trees. This is the rear view of that shuttered building. Look at that drive. Who lives in a house like this? Or is it broken up into apartments? Just stunning. Someone won the lottery, or did they inherit it? The old rectory. Was that the house of the rector? Was he given the privilege of that to live in? No wonder they all wanted to work in the clergy. I'll get a shot. I'm seeing so many things. I'm seeing this wall, it's beautiful. Full on. Shame about the car, but what you're going to do, at least I'll capture the house. Can't do anything about the building. Right, let's walk past the Rose Inn. Looks inviting, doesn't it? Circa 1300, real pub food. You know you're getting proper nosh when you eat in a pub, don't you? And then we walk down the street, which has an affectionate name of Gutter Street. And it's actually filled with a whole array of houses from many generations. Medieval being 1300s, right? Let's just walk and talk. If I see something nice, I'll stop and take a picture. the Bell Bakery. Because sometimes it's nice just to walk through these little villages. Slow down, hedgehog area. Look at these cottages on the left. Oh, English country garden. Walnut cottage. I have to capture that, don't I? One-shot Tudor. That's what they seem to call me. Or I call myself. Anyway, let's continue. Look at this house with the wisteria. Isn't that lovely? Village hall. Some birds trying to nest up there. Look at that old building. Starlings. Would you look at this old cottage? Isn't that grand? Thatched cottage. Look, it's appropriately named after me. The Old Tudor Cottage, because a YE was calligraphy for TH. The Old, and you don't pronounce the E at the end. This is what I got off watching QI with Stephen Fry, because it came up on one of the things and it said, how do you pronounce this? And of course they all got the klaxons, because you don't pronounce the T, the Y, ye, it's just TH. I want a shot of the cottage with the cat. How about that? Psst, psst, psst. Little cat. Psst, 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 psst. What can I get in here? 2-shot pano, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to adapt that because I've only got an 18. And of course, if I had 10 to 24, then I could potentially capture it all in one. But, you know, we can do things. I just saw this one here. Isn't that stunning? That could be a straight on, or actually from this angle. How about that? Adjusting you again. Coming in at an angle here. This is your jigsaw stuff, isn't it? How lovely. And we'll see if I can get one straight on. Gosh, what a stunning looking building. I don't know if you can see me now, but you can certainly hear me. Very nice. And that, the wisteria and the funky shaped roof. Let me show you. It's all a bit wonky. It's collapsing in the middle. Anyway, back to Gutter Street, as it's formerly known. I think we're coming to the end. So I came down that way. Look at all these old buildings. Could be a shot, could be a shot. 1736 for the Forge House. Garden activities going on. Look, a scene from Coronation Street. Do, 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 do. Got a car coming. I thought I would get a nice shot of the cottages just going down. In fact, let me put you this side so that you can see what I'm actually looking at. People look at you all kind of suspicious, don't they? I wanted to try and capture just the essence of the cottages with the light in the windows. So I'll come back in. I'm taking the right-hand side so I don't get those buildings in the far right. The last green drain pipe is what I'm aiming at here. Oh, I've got people talking. Very nice. Continue down. We haven't got far to go. Yell if you see something, and then I can come back and take a picture of it, because I won't see it if you're yelling at the screen right now. Like the cat in the road. What are you doing, Puss Puss? What you doing, Puss Puss? Psst, psst, psst. Because I own 2 cats, I think all cats should like me, but that's not always the case, is it? Here we go. One Oast Cottage, Gutter Street. I think it's actually called the street, but modern house. I haven't taken many pictures of the rivers yet, but there's a public footpath at the end here which we'll go down, because that leads to the, I think it's called the Quivers or the Quavers. It was the home of Christine McVie from Fleetwood Mac. She bought it in the 90s, lived here for 25 years, sold up, went to America. Was it last year or the year before she passed away? But she lived here in Wickhambreaux, perhaps the village's most famous resident, Wickhambreaux. Right, what are you seeing here? Look at that, with all the windows and the wisteria hanging down. Coming in close. Cropping. I like that. One in, one out. Can't get close enough. Took one at 18 so that I could adjust the perspective. Yeah, so public footpath. Look, VE celebrations. Got the Union flag out. Some rather lovely houses here. Some modern, some really old. She wanted to go in the car park space. Look, it's the Cross Dykes. Don't even go there, Tudor. I've heard of wearing women's clothing when you're angry, and that's called cross-dressing. But how about Cross Dykes? What could that imply? Anyway, right, it says public footpath, but I feel like I'm going into someone's garden. I'm just going to walk down here because I think this is where I'm going to conclude the video. If I can see the river. Here's some music while I walk through. I did have a look on the map, because you always have to kind of scout the locations, don't you? And I noticed that there was a river, the Little Stour, connecting through, but it might be the other side of this. There's the river. Can't see it. It's probably up there, because I think that's the next village where I have to perhaps do another video. However, this, the Quaves, it says, this was the home of Christine McVie. So they've sold it and it's now something like a studio or something. This is what the rich and famous rock stars buy themselves and have security. What is it though? Weekly wellness classes, retreats, weddings and private events. So technically they've bought it and turned it into a health club, haven't they? So that was a walk through Wickhambreaux, very quaint Kentish village, steeped in history, all the way back to 849, did I say at the beginning? Joan of Kent, mother of Richard II. Christine McVie lived here, the Rose Inn, fabulous houses, and we're left with this splendorous view. and people looking at you when they drive by in the car. Well, I rather enjoyed that, so I think I will continue with the theme. It seems to be, maybe it's the season, maybe it's just the right thing to do. So I'm going to walk back. If I go back through the public footpath, I'm just at the end of that main road. But if I walk through here, it just comes out back at the thatched cottage, the old Tudor house or cottage, whatever it was called. So as per usual, I've collected an awful lot of footage. I don't know what I might include. I might do it all. You know, it's one of those things that, do you throw together a 10-minute video, or do you throw together a 30-minute stroke 40-minute video? Mostly because nothing was planned. I just knew I wanted to come here, and I just knew I wanted to capture some images. And it's like a lovely, what are we, 15, 16 degrees. So I've really enjoyed that. More to come. Thank you so much for tagging along, bearing with, all of that kind of stuff. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.